Nobody expected to wake up to this. Lil Durk is out, released on bond, and the entire rap world is spinning out of control. From Atlanta to Chicago, fans are shocked. Rivals are already picking sides, and social media is flooded with wild rumors and instant reactions. The headlines broke before the sun came up, but the drama was just getting started. Within minutes, rappers who once called Durk their brother were trading accusations. Some celebrating his freedom, others questioning if someone snitched, and a few warning that the streets just got a whole lot more dangerous. Emotions ran high as Instagram Lives popped off with heated rants. Studio group chats leaked, and families were left divided over what comes next for the self-proclaimed voice of the trenches. But that's not even the half of it. Whispers of secret alliances, betrayal from inside his own circle, and beef with old enemies are about to turn this story into the wildest chapter the culture's seen in years. Keep watching, because what happens next will shake hip-hop down to its core. And trust, nobody is safe from the fallout. It was just after sunrise when the first whispers started. Screenshots of court documents, frantic DMs, and then, out of nowhere, a video dropped. Lil Durk, still in his jail clothes, stepping out onto the street with cameras flashing, fans screaming, and the whole block looking like a movie set. For months, the city had been holding its breath, but nobody was ready for this. Fans were running, crying, some just standing there frozen, staring at the man who'd become both a legend and a lightning rod for controversy. Before he could even hug his mom, reporters were swarming, phones were out, and everyone had just one question: what really happened behind those locked doors, and what does this mean for the game? Inside the circle, emotions ran high. Durk's team was moving like a military unit, shielding him from the chaos and hustling him into a black SUV. Windows tinted so dark you couldn't even see his outline. His manager was on the phone with lawyer's voice tense, trying to figure out who had leaked the news. "Somebody's playing both sides, bro," he whispered, glancing nervously at the crowd. Meanwhile, Durk's closest friends were split down the middle. Some were popping bottles and throwing up O-block signs, convinced their guy had just beaten the system. Others were quiet, almost paranoid, wondering if this sudden freedom meant someone inside had snitched or worse. Durk himself had cut a deal to save his own skin. Social media was a war zone. Big rappers wasted no time jumping into the conversation. Lil Baby went live with a cryptic, "Sometimes the real gotta move in silence. Happy for my boy, but I got my eyes open." Fans immediately flooded the comments, twisting every word into new theories. Is he throwing shade? T knows something we don't. Meanwhile, 21 Savage tweeted, "Out the cage. Now watch the city shake," followed by a snake emoji, and the timeline exploded. Fans screenshot every emoji, every deleted tweet, every word out of every rapper's mouth, convinced the truth was hidden somewhere in all the drama in the background. Durk's family was living through their own private storm. His mother refused all interviews but was seen crying outside her home, clutching a phone to her chest. One cousin posted a blurry, tear-filled video to Instagram, saying, "All we ever wanted was for him to come home." Y'all don't know what this cost us? It's a comment section filled with prayers, but also with trolls, people accusing Durk's camp of selling out. People predicting that violence was about to explode on the streets. The drama reached another level when a well-known Chicago DJ leaked a studio voice note supposedly sent from Durk's camp. In the scratchy clip, a voice that sounded suspiciously like Durk could be heard saying, "I'm good. But some people ain't who they claim to be. You gonna see." That line hit the internet like a grenade. Within hours, rumors were flying that someone from Durk's inner circle had flipped on him, giving prosecutors just enough to justify bond, but not enough to send him away for good. Some called it strategy, others called it betrayal, But everyone agreed on one thing: the game had just changed, and nobody knew who was really pulling the strings. The reactions weren't just coming from the music world either. Its community leaders in Chicago weighed in, some welcoming Durk's release and begging for peace, others warning that old beefs might reignite. On the South Side, people gathered at the corner store, arguing over whether Durk's freedom was a win for the city or a ticking time bomb waiting to go off. One old head shook his head and told a group of teenagers, "Don't get too excited. This ain't over. Somebody's gonna want payback." As night fell, the story kept getting crazier. Videos started surfacing of rival crews speeding through the city, flashing cash and shouting threats. Fake DMs and screenshots popped up everywhere, with people claiming to have inside info on who set Durk up or who saved him. Bloggers and YouTube channels went into overdrive, posting hour-long breakdowns, dissecting body language, speculating about hidden deals, and interviewing anyone who'd ever brushed shoulders with Durk. The streets were restless, but the internet was even wilder then. Just when it seemed like things might calm down, Durk himself went live his face, tired but determined, voice lower than usual. "I know y'all heard the talk. I know y'all got questions," he said, staring straight into the camera. "But all I'ma say for now is, loyalty mean everything. Watch who you trust, 'cause not everybody praying for your freedom." His words sent chills through his fan base and sent another shockwave through the rap community. Everyone wanted to know, who was he talking about? Was it an enemy, a friend, or someone even closer? In that moment, the tension felt like it might break the internet. Big rappers started unfollowing each other. Labels called emergency meetings, and fans posted wild theories about upcoming diss tracks, revenge, and alliances about to flip. But one thing was clear: Lil Durk was home, and nothing about the rap game would ever be the same again. With every minute, the city buzzed louder, and the world held its breath, waiting to see what would come next and who would be the first to cross a line nobody could ever uncross. As word spread that Lil Durk was back on the streets, the energy in the city shifted. Everyone could feel it, from downtown studios to late-night corner stores. Even before the sun set, a fleet of black SUVs rolled through the west side, drawing crowds of fans who snapped photos, hoping for a glimpse of their hero. But the excitement was mixed with unease. More than one OG stood off to the side, arms folded, warning the younger guys to stay smart, because nothing's ever that simple. Whispers turned into shouts as a video went viral of Durk's team quietly meeting in a closed-off parking garage, surrounded by bodyguards, moving like they expected something to go wrong. Meanwhile, the rap world wasn't staying quiet. In Atlanta, Lil Baby held a private studio session with close friends, all phones locked away. But someone leaked audio of heated voices arguing about trust and loyalty. "Just 'cause he home don't mean the streets forgot," someone muttered, voice trembling with a mix of relief and suspicion. The clip spread fast. Everybody wanted to know, did someone break the code, or did Durk really beat the case on his own? It didn't take long for the drama to hit the internet. 21 Savage, never one to dodge controversy, fired off another tweet. "Funny how quick folks forget who really hold the cards." Fans were divided, half cheering for Durk's return, half convinced the game had been rigged. Some went even deeper, pulling up old beefs, screenshots of Instagram DMs, and stories about who owed who favors back in the day. You could feel the tension in the air, like something big was about to drop in the middle of it all. Durk's mother finally broke her silence, posting a single, heart-wrenching photo. Her holding Durk's childhood sneakers, tears in her eyes. Her caption read, "We prayed for this, but the devil's still working." The comment section turned into a battleground, supporters dropping blue hearts and praying hands, haters tossing snake emojis and accusations. "Y'all better hope He learned something in there. One person wrote, while another promised. Nobody touching him, he's too loved. The family was left divided, unsure whether to celebrate or keep their guard up. But the biggest shock came when an old friend from Durk's circle surfaced with a message. He went live, looking nervous, his phone shaking as he spoke. "I love bro, but y'all don't know the half of it. Trust gets you killed out here." Just 'cause he's smiling now don't mean there ain't pain behind it. Fans ate it up, speculating that he'd been betrayed by someone close or that he was planning payback. Within minutes, rumors spread that a quiet civil war was brewing in Durk's own camp, with factions forming, some loyal to the end, others plotting their own moves. The streets weren't the only ones feeling the pressure. Collies started to worry, calling emergency meetings, whispering about contracts, touring plans. And what would happen if Durk's release started a new wave of violence? Managers called up every connection they had, some pleading for peace, others looking for an angle. Industry insiders warned that anything could happen, and no one knew if the next headline would be a chart-topping single or another tragedy. The drama reached its peak when a rival rapper, one with a long history of beef with Durk, posted a video grinning as he played one of Durk's songs, then paused it to say, "Don't get too comfortable. Welcome home, but remember, it's snakes everywhere." Instantly, the video set off a firestorm. Some fans took it as a threat, others saw it as a backhanded compliment. But everyone agreed there was unfinished business, and it was only a matter of time before somebody made a move. As midnight rolled in, Chicago's skyline seemed to pulse with anticipation. Club owners called extra security, knowing tempers could flare at any minute. Everywhere you looked, people were choosing sides. Was Durk the same man who went in? Or had jail changed him? Inside his own house, Durk sat quietly with his family, tension crackling in the air. His little sister asked, "Are you really safe now?" Durk just smiled and hugged her, but even she could tell he was deep in thought, mind racing with all the things he couldn't say out loud. As the hours ticked by, nobody knew what the morning would bring. Would old alliances hold strong, or would someone finally break the silence with a diss track or a move that couldn't be taken back? One thing was for sure, the city wasn't sleeping, and neither was the rap game. Everyone was waiting for the next move, nerves raw, hearts pounding, knowing that the real story was only just beginning to unfold. The city barely slept that night. With every block buzzing from rumors and possibilities, everyone waiting for the next headline to drop. At the same time, Lil Durk's own circle grew tighter, his most trusted friends now screening every phone call, every visitor like they were guarding state secrets. But tension leaked through the walls. Even in his own living room, Durk could feel eyes on him, could sense that not everyone who came back around was there just to celebrate. The first real twist came with an early morning phone call that shook the house. One of Durk's longtime producers, who had kept quiet through the whole ordeal, was now demanding a private meeting. He arrived tight-lipped, glancing over his shoulder, and barely waited for the door to close before speaking. "Look, I heard things," he whispered. "Not everybody wanted you to come home, bro. Some people saw an opportunity, tried to fill the gap you left." Durk stared at him, trying to keep his voice calm, but the edge was there. "So you telling me somebody close was plotting on my spot?" The producer nodded. "More than one, I think. Watch your circle. Trust got thin while you was gone." Word of that meeting got out fast, somebody, always leaking something. And within hours, the blogs were running stories about a traitor in the camp. Fans lost their minds, picking apart every name ever linked to Durk, making wild lists of who might have tried to take over. Instagram was a mess. People posting fake exposes, supposed voice notes, even edited videos claiming to show secret late-night meets. Nobody knew what was true, but the suspicion infected everything. Amid all the chaos, Durk's family was reaching their breaking point. His mom started ignoring the phone, scared that every call was more bad news. His sister got into a screaming match with a cousin who accused Durk of bringing trouble to their door. "He's home now. Let him breathe," she yelled, but deep down she worried too. The family was left divided, trying to figure out if being free was really any safer than being locked up across the city. Fans argued in the streets, some holding impromptu vigils and prayer circles, others blasting Durk's songs as loud as possible, treating every lyric like a prophecy. But just as the energy hit a fever pitch, another surprise dropped. A live video from an old rival rapper who once called Durk his brother, then turned on him during the court case. The rival sat in a car, looking dead into the camera. "I ain't got no beef yet, but some people want you gone for good, and they closer than you think. Move smart. All eyes on you, lil bro." The video went viral, fueling a million new theories about who was truly loyal and who was gunning for the crown. In the middle of it all, the industry kept spinning. Durk's label pushed to get him back in the studio, hoping to channel all the drama into a new album. But every time he tried to focus, another distraction pulled him away. A message from a friend he hadn't heard from in months, a warning from a neighborhood uncle, even a handwritten note left on his car windshield that simply read, "You got a second chance, don't waste it." The pressure mounted. Managers argued behind closed doors about how to handle press. Promoters fought over tour dates, and everyone was worried about a single slip turning into another scandal. Durk, meanwhile, was stuck in the middle, torn between wanting to trust his people and knowing the streets had changed while he was away. One night, unable to sleep, he texted a close friend, "What if it's never safe again?" The friend replied instantly, "It never was, bro. But now, you just got more to lose." By the end of the week, something shifted in Durk. Instead of hiding, he called his team together. "I know everybody watching. Some want to see me win, some waiting for me to fall. But I'm here. I'm free, and I'm not about to fold for nobody. We move together, or we don't move at all." His crew nodded, but the look in their eyes showed the fear hadn't gone anywhere. As the city kept holding its breath, one thing was clear: the next move would change everything. The only question was whether it would be the one that finally put the past behind them, or the one that blew everything apart for good. The days that followed felt like the city was holding on to one long exhale, every hour heavier than the last. For Lil Durk, the spotlight had become a burning glare. Paparazzi parked outside his mom's house, neighbors peeking through curtains, old friends texting as if nothing had changed, and the ever-present threat of someone, somewhere, waiting to test him. Even his dreams were crowded with warning voices and memories of locked doors. The taste of freedom, sweet but never simple. The biggest shock came late one night, when news broke that someone from Durk's circle had actually agreed to a secret interview with a popular hip-hop podcaster. The episode dropped without warning. Voices altered, shadows on faces, but the stories hit like a freight train. The anonymous guest didn't name names, but hinted that jealousy and ambition had crept. In the second, Durk was locked up. Everybody loved him when he was on top, the voice said. But when the lights went out, a lot of people thought they could do what he do. Some of them tried to reach out to old rivals, even made moves with folks who never had Durk's back. The internet exploded with speculation, every rap blog and reaction channel lighting up with fresh accusations. Suddenly, wasn't just the streets buzzing. Major artists started dropping songs with not-so-subtle bars aimed at snitches, traitors, and snakes. One rapper even went live, saying, "Free Durk, but not everybody who came home with him is free from guilt." The message was clear. The rap game wasn't about to forgive or forget, and loyalty was being tested in every direction. Labels pressed Durk for a response, pushing him to clear his name and the air. But Durk held back, moving quietly, spending hours at the studio, but dropping nothing public. His energy focused on making sense of who was real and who was just along. For the ride, meanwhile, the tension in his family started to thaw, replaced by a fierce protectiveness. His mom finally spoke out in a raw, unfiltered live session, wiping tears from her eyes as she promised, "We survived before, we'll survive again. But anybody who's not for my son, just stay away." Her words drew support from fans and a new round of threats from trolls. But she stood her ground, making it clear that family came first, no matter what. At the same time, Durk's biggest rivals were still circling, dropping cryptic tweets and showing up at local events. Some acting friendly, others pushing boundaries. In one tense scene outside a club, security nearly lost control as fans from both sides started arguing, forcing Durk's team to rush him out a back door. It was a reminder that freedom wasn't just about walking out of jail, it was about surviving in a world where trust was currency and every move could change the game. Finally, after days of silence, Durk appeared on his own live. He didn't say much, but what he said cut deep. "I see everything. The love, the hate, the lies. I know who was there and who wasn't. But I'm still here, and I ain't backing down. I just hope the people who was fake got enough heart to say it to my face." With that, he ended the stream, leaving fans buzzing and the industry on edge. In the aftermath, one thing was clear: the story wasn't finished. The streets were watching, the music world was waiting, and even those who claimed to know Durk best could only guess what would come next. Some believed he'd drop the hardest album of his career, fueled by pain and betrayal. Others worried he'd disappear again, tired of carrying the weight of so many expectations. But for now, Lil Durk was free. The city was awake, and everyone understood that whatever came next would be remembered for years. Freedom in his world was just the beginning of another fight. If you made it this far, you know this story is bigger than just one rapper walking free. It's about loyalty, betrayal, and how quickly everything can change when the spotlight hits. Lil Durk's release shook the rap game and the city to its core. And now, everyone's waiting to see if the circle will come together or fall apart for good. Who do you think stood by Durk when it mattered most? And who was just along for the ride? Do you think the next move will be peace, or will old beefs spark up again? Let us know what side you're on in the comments. Are you Team Durk, Team Loyalty? Or do you think somebody's still hiding something? Hit that like button if you're shocked by how deep the drama goes. Subscribe if you want the inside story on every twist. And don't forget to ring that bell so you never miss the next chapter. This is just the beginning. Stay locked in. Because in the world of rap, nothing stays quiet for long. Your opinion matters. So drop your take below and keep the conversation going.